All right. So a lot of you are trying the drills now, and you have to be very careful because they're very subtle drills. Even as we work here, it's a constant refinement of being able to do the drill right. Otherwise, it won't produce the results you want. We already know through many podcasts and many writings that the Egotripartite mind is prone to the external force engines, is prone to contestation, and it is also prone to usurpation of the drills that are to cultivate its deconstruction. So you'll do these drills and you're really just doing external force engines, bracing angles, and contestation, okay? The pointers I've given recently is just get in the ballpark, but as you're in the ballpark, continuously work on releasing muscle tension and no arm movement, no external movement, okay? If you keep using those pointers and you take them seriously, it will be very hard for the Egotripartite mind to usurp the drill and to block you from its deconstruction, okay? So we're going to show how it's also very beneficial to have a teacher because that mind is so deceptive that pre-modern cultures identified it with a trickster deity or a demonic element, and there's a lot of truth to that. Your teacher is someone who will exercise that demonic aspect out and keep you from usurping the training and blocking your access to the God mind. And I'll show you how we do that, okay? So it's very important that you still come here or you still share your videos and not just try these things on your own, because chances are you're doing them wrong, you're doing them in the antithetical way, okay? So here we go. And again, remember that he's not casually pushing, he's pushing, okay? If he ever felt like he's not pushing hard enough, he'll tell him push harder, okay? And if he needs to, he can get two hands on there and really grind in there to experience what's going on, okay? So he's not just holding. I know it looks like that, right? I know it looks like I'm holding, but I'm not. There's a lot of force in there. It just doesn't look like it. So I'm not standing here and not pushing. If you can't ground, you're gonna have to get that bracing angle. Okay? So you're driving and you're already getting floated, right? Okay. So he's doing that. That's the first thing. You have to push. He's gonna go. Okay, and come back. And what you do now is feel what is happening. Okay? So we're already coming up. Do you feel that? Okay. Now start to notice where you first sense that, the beginning of that motion. Okay? It already happened. No, it didn't happen. It already happened. It's happened again. Where do you feel it?
In here?
No.
It feels like everything gets stiff and I just become a
Try put your awareness in your lower calves, somewhere around here.
Hey.
And feel when they start to want to keep position, flex, hurt, whatever, okay? When they change, stand normal. Stand normal, give your hand out. Feel what that feels like. That's neutral, okay? We'll call that neutral, although it's not, my friend. But I want you to feel how that area that I touch changes before anything else happens in your body. Yeah, do you see? Okay? And so what that does is you're like on two sticks and it pole vaults you over those two sticks. No difference. And than this. Feel it, and you'll see your energy. That's exactly what your energy does.
Tight.
You see? Okay? So we come back. And now my eye, when he stands, I already see he's pole vaulting. He already carries a latent tension in the lower legs, okay? That's probably related to martial arts, Aikido, do you know what I mean? You automatically go into that flexion. So he's got to bring some awareness there. Release, and and here I'll guide the uke. Keep it at a pressure before he pole vaults, okay?
All right.
But to that pressure, no more.
All right.
And now I'll task him with releasing that tissue. Don't change your outer shape though, okay? It's not an external thing where you try to release and relax. It's an internal thing, so no movement. Don't change your eyes, don't change your hands, nothing. You release. Don't change the pressure. Release. Watch the breathing. Don't move outside. Just release that. Keep going there. But we already lost pressure. He's got this angle now as this shoulder's coming up, okay? So we'll stop. And we'll do the other side. And what you can do as a practitioner is stop starting in your in martial arts, samurai, okay? More releasing. And then we're gonna take it, what you'll feel is the pole vault. So when you start to feel that, which you should at your skill, that's where you hold it. And that's where he works on the releasing. Don't move outside, inside. Okay. All right. So as the teacher observing here, I can see a conscious breathing, and if you pay attention. Go ahead, get to that same spot. This is what happened last time, but take a full deep breath. You see? Okay? So what I mean by that is, Chris, if you don't mind, I know this is weird, but come around behind me. You can just put your hand there. Don't push into me. You're trying to feel what happens, okay? So when Sean breathes, it causes a flexion, okay? But as I breathe, my body's breathing, there's no flexion in my body. You feel that the abdomen expand. So you still have a lot of latent unconscious flexion. It's going to be very, very hard to move past that. And so you can't really do the drill. We got to do this other drill, which is a variation, which is you're going to take him to that breaking point, and he's going to basically do standing corpse pose, you see, and he learns to release that. But you have to be careful, because when your preconceived notions of breathing is actually not the breathing that we want, which is the body breathes, not I breathe, okay? Because when you breathe, it generates the latent flexion, and now we push over, okay? So we can do some things, and we've known, you guys have seen everybody's progress as they've trained here, and we've been online for a long time, and we were even talking yesterday, you have a lot of leg flexion still. you also have a lot of preconceived notions of what is positional integrity and what is projection, right? We talked about that a lot. So now the teacher comes in and modifies, like we modified that last drill, we can modify this, and which is why there's a seated set, not just a standing set. Lately we've been doing the standing set because Virginia has a bum knee, and that way we can just stay standing. But I myself prefer the seated set. It's more challenging, and your adaptation is only as good as you are challenged by your environment. So for me, the standing stuff, it just gets way too easy. I get very bored very quickly, okay? But you might have to go to the seated set to understand more without me there, what's happening and what's not happening, okay? First, let me give you my philosophy. This stuff takes forever to learn. So I try to expedite that process as much as possible. And for that reason, I'll go ahead and increase the stressor, but maybe to the point where that's beyond your capacity to adapt. And now that's not a cultivation field anymore. That becomes an application field. There's no growth from there. Okay, so someone asked me one time, like, why do you work from katate? Why don't you work from on the torso, since it has so much to do with it? And we do. There are those videos where we climb up the arm, and I'll demonstrate that right here. But the reason why is because the Egotripartite mind is so oriented towards external that I want to tackle that problem more fully by giving you the lust of pushing on something. So that's why I stick that hand out, okay? But here we're going to take that hand away. And we're going to take the legs away and understand this positioning. So first, let me show you what we're working with. Will you take that camera from Virginia? And then Chris is going to push, and Virginia's going to come out. And this is a different issue. So Sean's issue, the one I want to tackle and have been tackling with him, is the lower leg tension, which is very, very common. And then here we have another, and we are going to watch where you feel. So it already happened, okay? What might your teacher be talking about? What was it? Come on.
My pushing back.
Okay, and prior to that, what happened? You got turned.
Hi.
Then you push. So watch again. Hold your position. And now the source is what you want. Okay? Not the obvious gross end result. He's going to gently start pushing, increasing pressure. It already happened. Do you see that? It already happened. You already went that way. You don't feel it? Okay.
I don't feel like it's my will. I feel like it's a direct.
No, don't try to. It's not about will. Your task in the drill is positional integrity. Remember that?
Okay.
So when you get turned, you lost positional integrity. Now the Egotripartite mind goes back in positional integrity, but now you pushed on him. Do you see? Do you get that? So we want to look at the beginning of the position. It already happened. It already happened. Because now you're trying not to do it and you're coming in, okay? The tension already got there. So, and here's why that's happening. So in the same way that Sean is usurping a settling and a sinking of mass through relaxation with flexion and trying to hold a vertical bracing angle in the lower leg, you have this weakness in how do I hold myself for the rotation that comes from the fact that we have one side of the body forward versus the other. So we should be able to see this. Let's go to the last drill. Yep. Okay. And he's going to drive. Okay.
Might be parallel or,
I don't care. Just parallel pillow. I'm sorry, but I don't care the width of them. Okay, and now we see both come forward in her. Do you see? The reason we only saw one come forward, put the foot back, is because only one shoulder is being affected. Do you see that? But prior to you coming forward, we saw the compromisation of it going back. So the skill that is still missing is how do I hold structural integrity in light of this rotational force? Okay, that's where we're going to go. Okay? Let me use Sean. So Virginia, take that. All right. So here we can start without the legs. Okay? He can flex his legs all he wants here. It won't do anything. Okay? It's not going to do anything. So he's going to push. And he's got to drive, and I'm very relaxed. I keep releasing tension. I let my body breathe. I scan the entirety of my body for that tension. And what do you feel like? Well, I didn't even, you already moved, but what does it feel like? Well, you're already tired, right? So that's something you should say. That's how hard he's pushing. Okay? He's not just holding here. He's not just here. He's driving. Okay? So the same thing. This is for someone like Sean, who's on the flexion on the lower legs. Maintain position. Don't relax by doing movement, okay? You just can't see me relax on the inside. But it's on the inside that I start to release tension. Wherever I feel the urge to push, I let go of that. I don't seek any mechanical advantage over him or anything. You can see I got a little push, keep going, but I release it. You only get pushed because you flex, so I release it again. Release it again. Okay? And what I'm doing here is I get to release tension, and two, I'm going to work on this positional integrity of the torso. Do you get that? Because that's where that's another place that is very difficult. Releasing tension in the lower legs is very difficult, and maintaining rotational integrity in the torso is also very difficult at first. Meaning we tend to do it through flexion and contestation. Okay? So that's where we're going. So we're gonna try this drill for a little bit.
Hi.
Okay, so stay there and don't move. But you can see he has this orientation. Here's your shoulder back. Do you see that? So we came here, and so we're usurping it, and we're trying to get skeletal alignment. Okay? And that's why I like to work with katate and not on the torso. Okay? Because this is a stronger catalyst for the ego-tripartite mind than the torso is. You could fix your torso all you want, And then when I give you your arm, or I grab your arm, or I do things to your arm, and you will go right back to the contestation. It's the same thing, in my opinion, that you could sit on that freaking cushion. You know, you could be a male practitioner of Zazen. You sit on that cushion all the time in your little fucking hermitage. I give you a wife, and now you don't know shit. Okay, it's the same thing. The environment is at a whole other level. It's why, as I've said, I'm not in the monastery. You have to take your practice into the swamp. The lotus is born in the swamp. It's not in a pristine hydroponic environment, okay? So he'll go, we'll set him up, he'll go. And now it's not external, it's internal. And what do you feel as you're trying to do it? Don't move.
I feel the tension in the shoulder, and I'm trying to get it
here. So try to release that tension. There you go. And again, it'll rise up because that's what the mind does. And you release it again. Release again. There you go. And again. Where else do you feel tension? Pay attention to the lower back and the legs still. Release it again. Good. Good. Okay. So again, the drill is not really to keep positional. It's not a positional integrity drill. Why would it be? We're never going to contest for space. This is where I deviate radically from Adam Meisner, because he sticks with that cultivation field. I am never going to stay in place. The non-contestation is going to concentrically expand out from the internal to the external, and I will never contest for space, let alone just be handle it inside. That's not what we do here. And so, likewise, the drill is not about positional integrity. The stressor is positional integrity, but it is my reaction to the stressor that's compromising positional integrity in the face of the other stressor, the desire to maintain positional integrity. Those are all ego-tripartite mind aspects. And I am monitoring my reaction to those two catalysts that stimulate ego-tripartite mind activity. That's what I'm doing. So I release and I release and I release and I release. That is what I'm doing. That's the drill, okay? All right, so we're going to go on. And here's where someone will make another very similar usurpation, a mistake in understanding the drill. We're going to do the one where he climbs up the arm. So he has to trade grips and allowing me to move. He'll climb up to the elbow, okay? And then from the elbow, he climbs up to the shoulder. And we're here like that, okay? A lot of people will think, and at this level of that my deshi are at that are here today, this is for future thought, okay? A lot of people will think that this shoulder, and this is for you, Virginia, that you have to learn the groove to set the shoulder where it can relax. Chris was doing that subconsciously when he tried to bring it forward like that. Do you see? Because he felt it going out. That is all an usurpation because that is all external. And I can't, let's say you wanted to fight. I can't fight with set shoulders. That doesn't work. I know you see a lot of Aikido people like that, but that doesn't work. And here's how you know it doesn't work. The pre-modern epistemology is most clearly outlined in Nagarjuna's tetralemma. And so it's A, it's B, it's both A and B, it's neither A nor B. So there's no way it can be, it's set. It has to be, I can set it, I can unset it, I can both set it and unset it, and I can do something that's neither set nor unset. Okay? So my arm, for example, doesn't require a certain anatomical alignment of skeletal and muscular tissue. My arm he's gonna push and keep pushing, and my arm can do whatever that I want it to do. Can do whatever. Can even do things it's not supposed to do. He should be able to shove it there, but he can't. Okay? Just in terms of a fighting capacity, is that not better? That you don't have to fight like that the entire time, okay? So, I kind of let beginners work with set, and then we start to work with unset as we get going, okay? But setting with tension, that has to be addressed from the very beginning because that's not the drill, okay? So, what we're going to do is take away this alignment and urge to push by moving up the arm. So, the pointer here is for your uke to kind of keep the same pressure, and you pay attention to what's happening in the rest of your body. And then the next one, I want you to go from shoulder to chest. In the middle. Watch, for you, watch this. Feel what you feel now. Your hand was easy. That's the release of the tension. There's the breathing without the positional integrity changing. And again, I let it all go, and you're gonna go flying. Okay. All right. Here's the reverse engineering. If there wasn't tension and skeletal alignment keeping my hand in place, the integrity was not sourced in the wrist or in the shoulder, the positional integrity. It's sourced somewhere else. It's sourced in this spinal position. Do you understand that? So if you're here standing, that's the whole point of this one. The source is in the spinal integrity. All external distal integrity is sourced in spinal integrity. That's why you can do this drill. That's why it doesn't change it. If you have to do this, you don't have the spinal integrity, okay? If you get rotated, you don't have the spinal integrity because that spine rotated. Spinal integrity is here. That's why this stuff works. Spinal integrity is here. I would have to rotate my spine in order to fall victim to that, okay? All right, so we're gonna try this seated drill, and I recommend you try this drill because you tend to have so much tension and Aikido trickery that you're hiding from yourself that you don't have the spinal integrity, okay? All right, so we're gonna play with this.